This is an InDesign tutorial on object states. Now I've got 4 images of sports stars: Michael Jordan, Tyson, Tiger Woods and Ronaldo. What we're going to do is just go File, New, choose a web for the intent and just leave the default settings, click OK. Now in InDesign, what we're going to do is create a object state that will change depending on the buttons we click. So the first thing we want to do is insert those 4 images as thumbnails, as buttons. So let's go up to File, Place, and let's select those 4 images that's on my desktop. And let's just place them here on the right hand side as thumbnails. So these are going to act as buttons, and when we click on the thumbnail, it's going to change something on the left. Okay, now we're going to have to put those pictures in again. So let's go File, Place, select those pictures, and now let's put some big versions of those pictures here. As much room as we can take up, let's put it there. Let's put the next one right over it. And just keep putting the same the pictures over each other. Now these 4 images, these big ones we're putting in, they're going to be one object, and what we're going to do is just get the selection tool, select them all, and we're going to create an object state. Now this is CS6. Now in CS6 you'll click on digital publishing, but for CS 5.5 you'll click on interactive up there to get the tools that you need. So interactive is what you want, not interactive for PDF, just interactive. If you're using CS6, then you'll choose digital publishing and you'll see a button called object states. So now what we do is select all 4 of those big pictures by highlighting them like so. You'll click on object states and click on the new button to create a new object state. Now you'll see those 4 images are now under one object state. If I click on each state, it will bring up each image. Now what we want to do is rename this. So I'm just going to rename it. But more importantly, what we want to do is link a button to each state. So when you click on a button in your magazine, it changes the state. So when I click on Jordan, well, Michael Jordan's picture comes up here. When I click on Ronaldo, etc. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on Michael Jordan, we're going to go to buttons, and we're going to make it a button. And we're going to say, well, when we click on the button, it's going to go to a state. Now it asks us what state we want to go to. Now if you have multiple object states, they'll come up there. But what you do, you just select that and then you pick the state you want. And Michael Jordan is the 4th state, so I just select him. Next thing we do is just do the same thing for the other 3 buttons. So I click on Ronaldo. I make it a button. And I say, oh, and also you can make it so that you don't have to click on it. You could roll over and then the object will change, but we're just going to stick with that for now. So we wanted to go to a state, and which state? It's state number 3, Ronaldo is. Same for Tiger Woods, so a button. We want it to be on release, and we wanted to go to a state. What state do we want? Well, I think Ronaldo is Tiger Woods is number 2. Now it's Mike Tyson's turn, so we make that a button as well. Go to a state number 1. Now to preview it, in CS6 we have to change the top. In CS5, you will notice a preview button. In CS6, it's called SWF preview, but in CS 5.5, it's just called preview. What you do, click on it, hit the play button, and you'll be able to preview your document as if it was actually published. You can also export it if you want to do a test. So what I'm going to do is export it, go File, Export. I'll give it just a basic name. I'll save it on the desktop, and I'll just give it a name, Sport Test. Now this is really important. What you want to do for testing, make it a SWF, save it, and just leave all the default settings for now. Just hit OK. This is just a test. And this is how it actually will function. So here I am clicking on these thumbnails that we've made, pictures that we've made into buttons, and it's changing the object state on the left. Now what I want to do something a little bit different, show you guys how else you can use your object states and your buttons. I'm just going to delete the object state we've created. I'm going to go get the text tool and just write. I'm going to do interviews for each of the sports stars. So let's start with interview with Michael Jordan. Let's write that in. I'm just going to change that size and make it a little bigger. Okay. I'll just put in some dribble in here. Just pretend like I had an interview with Michael Jordan. Okay, so here's one text box for Michael Jordan. What I'm going to do is just create a second one, overlay it over the Michael Jordan one, and this one will be for Ronaldo. So I'm going to do a text box for each sports star and just overlay them on top of each other, just like we did with the pictures. So this will be Tiger Woods, interview with Tiger Woods. So I've done Jordan, done Ronaldo, done Tiger Woods now. I'm just putting the headings in for now. I'll do the text later. It's a bit too big. Okay, last one, interview with Mike Tyson. Overlay that on top. Let's type that in. Now, yes, it does look cluttered at the moment, but you'll be able to figure out better ways to do this. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select them all. I'm going to go to digital publishing, but if you're using CS 5.5, you'll go to interactive, click on object states, click new, and now it's created my interviews as different states. I'm just going to call this interview. So we've got interview with each sporting star. Now, last but not least, we want to link each button to each interview. Before that, I do that, I'm just going to copy the text and put that into the other states there, just so it looks populated, so it looks like it's a proper interview. I'll just do this real quickly. I won't even change the names there. State 2, let me just put that in. Okay, last state, state 1. Okay, so we've got interviews, all different states. Now what we want to do is link the thumbnails, the pictures of Jordan, etc. Okay, so we go to buttons, and what we want to do, actually, I'm going to make it an on rollover. So when you put your mouse over the picture, the interview changes. So on rollover, go to state. What state do we want? Michael Jordan is state number 4. That's it, all done. Next, Ronaldo. So on rollover, we want it to go to a state. What state do we want to go to? State number 3. Same for Tiger Woods. Go to state number 2, and Mike Tyson. So on rollover, when the mouse goes over Mike Tyson, we want it to go to that state with the interview with Mike Tyson. Now, let's do a preview. And when I move the mouse over, I'm not even clicking, I'm just moving it over. It will change the interview automatically. Let's export and actually have a look how it looks in a web page. Just keep the default settings, and here we go. So not clicking and just putting my mouse over, and the interview changes. Now, this is just an example of what you can do with object states and buttons, but I'm sure you can come up with a lot better stuff than that. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Looking forward to your work.